As a life and health insurance certified agent and being in this industry for so long, we have so many stories to share about clients, about customers, about experience. And today we have our very special guest, Mr. Suresh Sabnani. He's been in the industry longer than 10 years with a lot of experience in the life, health, annuities cases, and I'm very happy to welcome him. Today, we are having fun. I'm Susan Carrasco. Welcome. Welcome, Suresh. I'm very happy to have you join us today here in Vamos a lo Seguro.
Thank you.
I'm very happy. We've been working together for how long now?
About 4.5 to 5 years.
Tell me about your story. How did you start in this world?
Well, I had actually retired in 2013 when I was about 56 or 57 years old.
Okay.
And
what was your career? Retired from what?
I was in import and export business, and I had businesses overseas which I was running, and I was burning out. So I decided that I'm going to shut down everything and just retire. So I came home, and the first 1 month I enjoyed watching TV till 2, 3 in the morning. And one day I woke up and I said, this is crazy. What am I doing here? You know, I'm only 56 years old and I'm just sitting down like a vegetable at home.
Oh my God.
And I said to myself, no, I want to do something more. So it was coming close to Thanksgiving. My kids were coming home. My son, he had a double degree from FIU, working in the banking industry. He came home for the vacation and we sat down over the dinner and we were talking, and I told him, you know what, I'm going to go back into business because this is all I know. And my son turned around and told me, Dad, are you crazy? And you know, for a 30-year-old son to tell his father, are you crazy? It's like, it hit me like a shock. I said, why? He said, Dad, you started working when you were 18 years old. Now, almost 40 years later, you are trying to go back into business when you're retired? I said, well, I'm bored. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I feel like I'm wasting my time. He said, look, you have almost 40 years of business experience. That's like a PhD degree in life. Why don't you become a consultant? I said, but I never went to formal college. I don't have any degrees.
Okay.
How do I give advice to people when I'm not educated myself? He said, look, we can go to Miami-Dade College, we can take some courses, and then from there on, you see what you like, and then you become an advisor. And there's a lot of people who are trying to do business, who need advice about how to do their business, how to do banking, how to do exports, and you have done this like nobody's business. You have done so much of it that it's like nothing to you.
Right.
I said, okay, you know, sounds interesting. So I went to Miami-Dade College and I signed up for some financial courses so I can get a little bit more up to date with the new stuff. And then in January, we decided to make a resume, put it online on Indeed.com. Next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call from an insurance company.
Oh.
Come for an interview. I said, wow, that's quite fast, like in a week. So I go for this interview. I remember this company was situated in Coral Gables, a pretty big size company with this nationwide. They have about 5,000 agents working at that time in the company.
Wow.
And 300 offices all over the nation. So it was a very big size company. And so I went there, and it was a group style interview where the manager of the office was talking about the opportunity in the insurance industry and you know, how we can make money and we can help people and all of that. And
that was about
2014.
14, okay.
Exactly 10 years ago. So when I went there, and since I had never been in the insurance business myself, you know, as a business person, you always buy insurance and you always feel like, why am I spending all this money on insurance? It's a waste of my money, you know. But it's a necessity. It's a necessary evil, as we call it in the business. So after the interview was finished, you know, he talked about how much opportunity there is, what the income opportunities and all of that. I said to him, he asked me, would you be interested in, you know, this kind of position? I told him no. And I was ready to walk out of the office.
Okay.
So he called me back and he said, why did you say no? Most people cannot find jobs because the economy is in a very tough state right now. And why are you saying no to a company that's offering you a position? And here you'll be like your own boss. You'll be self-employed. You set your own hours. You can do as much work as you want to do, and you can make the income that you can desire. I said, well, I think insurance people are scam artists.
Oh, wow.
I was so rough on him, and he was like, what? How do you say that? I said, well, you know what? Because they lie to people and they tell them wrong things. And then when the time comes to get a claim, they never get the money that they think they're supposed to be getting.
I understand.
So he said, may I invite you to come back for a cup of coffee to my office? So I said, okay. So the next couple of days, he invited me to his office. I went there. We sat on a table just like this, and we had coffee together. And then he said, you told me that, you felt insurance people are scam artists. Why did you say that? So I explained to him what I thought. And he said, look, I agree with you that there are some agents out there who are very bad. And it's always one or two bad apples that cause a bad name for everybody. So in reality, that's not how it is. Our job here is to help people. We help families, we insure them, we make sure that people are well taken care of. And you're actually doing a good job here. You're helping people. And he turned and asked me one question in return. And that was like a shock to me. He said, what are you doing right now? I said, I'm retired. He said, so you don't need the money? I said, no. And he said, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm retired. I don't do nothing. I'm just sitting at home watching TV. He said, may I make a suggestion? I said, okay. He said, why don't you try it for 3 months? At the end of 3 months, if you're not happy, come to me, shake my hand like a man and tell me, I'm not interested in this. I don't think this job is for me or this kind of career is for me. And you walk away. What did you lose? 3 months, is it going to kill you? I said, honestly, no. He said, then what? I said, okay, what do I do?
So you started working with them?
So I had to get my license first.
Okay.
So he said, look, we have a licensing course that we do right in-house. And we have about 10 agents who are coming here from next week. Sign up for the course. And we have a person coming in person to teach the course. And you do the course. And then at the end of the course, you do a test to know that if you're proficient enough or not. Then you take the license. And once you get the license, we will appoint you and we'll do all of that.
That's perfect.
So that was the first step. Long and short of the story. Fast forward, it took me a week to do the course. It took me another week to go and do the license, and I passed it with flying colors. And
the 215?
I got the 215 license, which is life, health, and annuities.
Yes.
And I came back to him and I said, here's my license. He said, okay, we need to get you appointed. So that took another few days. Once the appointment was done, he said, come to the office, and to come and start doing the work. And I remember the first day. This is a funny story. I think everybody will enjoy this. I like to dress well. I do not like to go to work in a polo shirt or just a regular shirt and pants. I always wear a jacket and tie. And I remember in those days I used to wear tie. Now I've stopped doing that. So I went to the office the first day and I'm wearing a tie and a jacket, and he's wearing a tie and jacket also. And we walk around the office, and majority of the other agents who are there 3 months or 6 months ahead of me, they're all in polo shirts and regular, work shirts. So when I walk in, they all thought that I'm some corporate manager who has come from Chicago. So I was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. So he takes me around the office, he shows me the whole place, and he says, look, they have these cubicles, and you can sit down any of the cubicles, you can use this to do your work. I said, okay. And I saw in the corner, there was a nice big desk, manager's desk. And I said, I'll take that desk. Because I'm the kind of guy who believes it. You want something, you grab it.
Of course.
So he was like, but that was the manager's desk, and she just quit her job last week.
Okay.
So I said, I don't care. I want that desk. He said, okay, it's empty. You can have it. So I went and sat down there, and I had my own little corner office to myself.
Wow.
And I started. And we started. It took me about, I would say, like a month to understand, because the good thing about that company I worked with was they did a lot of in-house training. So every Tuesdays and Thursdays, they would have in-house training for at least 3 to 4 hours, where they will teach you about different products. So they taught about life insurances, they talk about health insurance, they talk about Medicare, how to sell critical insurance, hospital indemnity plans, and all of the different stuff.
How long it took you to start making money, to see?
Well, the manager was very honest with me, and he said, look, he set my expectations from day one. He said, it's going to take you at least the first month to month and a half to get into the company, to get appointed and all of that. And then it's going to take you another month or month and a half to start to learn the products and start to sell. So he said, don't see any money, at least for the first 2 or 3 months. So he said, if you start to do well from day one, you should start to see your first paycheck around the 3rd month. But it also depends on how good you are and how much you can sell and all of that. And honestly, I was not hard up for money, so for me it was not an issue. It was about my pride about what I'm doing. I'm a perfectionist. I like to do things in a very nice way, and I want to be successful in what I'm doing. So the first 2 months I concentrated on understanding everything. First month was training and learning. The second month was understanding the products. So at the end of the second month, or towards the end of the second month, I started going out on the field. And the system they utilized there was, you go with a senior agent, and you set an appointment, and the senior agent also sets appointments, and you go together. And then when
it's
you go...
It's like a collaboration effort.
It's a collaboration effort, correct. So you go there, and whatever sale you make, you get to keep half, and the senior agent keeps half the commission. And vice versa, if he makes a sale happen, then you get to share part of his commission. So it's both ways. So this way, the system basically is like you're learning to fish than being fed a fish.
Right.
You feed somebody the fish, they eat one meal. But you teach them how to fish, they can fish for life and they can eat for life.
Of course.
So that's the methodology they use to teach. And it was good. And the advantage that I had was that I come from a business background. I didn't come from out of a college or educational background. I came from business. My business all my life was selling things to people. And whether you're selling a telephone or a watch or a piece of clothing to somebody or shoes to somebody, this is selling a product. But it's not a tangible product. You cannot touch it. You cannot feel it. You're selling something that people have to understand and feel like this is important to them. So salesmanship-wise, you have to be a little bit more careful. Why? Because the person has to feel that this is important to them. If they feel this is not important, they're not going to buy it.
What motivates you to
do this business?
To do this business and to become successful and to continue going and wanting to grow more and more?
Well,
what is that? Because I know it's not money, Suresh, for you.
Well, that is true. Money is important, but I don't think that's the end result for me. For me, in the beginning, it was, I'm going to do this part-time just to keep myself occupied. I started that way. But very honestly speaking, I fell in love with the job. I fell in love with this career. I love the idea that I'm going out there, I'm meeting people, talking to them, seeing people in different situations. I've seen people who live in $1 million, $2 million, $6 million homes, and I've seen people who have literally nothing.
Nothing.
You know, I've gone to people's homes that have had to sit on a bucket of paint on the floor with cockroaches running around the place. It scares you sometimes, but then that's what the people are, and you get to see all segments of the society, and you feel that I've helped this person to safeguard themselves, to have a protection for themselves and their family. That gives me satisfaction. And then, you know, I come from a very spiritual background. And for us, when we are doing something good for somebody, we feel that we are serving people.
Of course.
And when you serve people, you feel more blessings are coming your way. So
that's great. That's great. And I really believe in that. And I'm very glad that we are on the same page.
Right.
What is that thing that you will say to agents that are new into the industry that they should do in order for them to start making and seeing money while they start their career in the healthcare?
The first piece of advice that I would give anybody is do not come with expectation that I'm going to start making $1 million from day one.
Right.
That doesn't happen. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a get-rich-slow scheme. It takes time to build your business. It takes time to understand and grow into this business. And the longer you stay here, the better your business gets. And I'll give you examples of how it goes through. Most people come in here because they need a job. They need to make money. And their needs are instant needs, that I need to pay my rent, I need to pay my expenses, I have this, that, overheads. So they're coming in here looking to make a quick dollar so that they can, fulfill the gaps that they have in their life. And generally for the people who are coming there, they're coming with a lot of stress. When you come with that stress inside you,
People.
you cannot make money, because when you come to a customer, if I'm trying to sit with you and trying to sell you something, because I'm in a stress period, because I need the money, I'm going to become over pushy. And the more I push you, the more scared you will be to buy from me. But in vice versa, if another
reality.
agent, that's the reality of this world. But in vice versa, if I, as an agent, come to you and I'm very relaxed, I'm not trying to sell you, I'm educating you, I'm showing you what is right and wrong for you, you make the choice, then you say, I like this, I like that. And that's how you realize that it is not you trying to make a sale. The sale happens when you do the right things. So for the new
And
agents,
you enjoy that. How's the feeling that you feel when
you feel so good. You feel like a god at that moment. that the customer is so happy and they say, "Oh my God, I never realized this and I never understood this." And you explained everything in detail, and that satisfaction makes you want to do better and better for them.
What is that product that you love the most? Because we as an agent, we have a line of business that we enjoy, and that's the starter. When I'm in front of somebody, that's my starting point, and that's what I start talking about. Like, in which line of business you focus more or you enjoy more?
Okay, so when I first started, what I learned very quickly to sell was life insurance.
Okay.
To me, that was the easiest thing to sell, and the commissions were very good, so you make good income on that. But selling life insurance is a pushy business. It is not something that everybody needs or feels that they need. You have to convince the customer that this is something important for you. So you have to create a pain in their heart that this is important, and then you have to touch that pain for them to be able to come out and say, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars towards my insurance. I would say the first 5.5 years, 90% of my business was life insurance.
Okay.
90%. 10% was health insurance, Medicare, and critical insurances and stuff like that. Once I joined Health One Corp, I came
How
under-
long ago was that?
That was in 2019.
19. Okay.
And there's another story behind that. I'll tell you how I arrived over here. That's for a different time.
Yeah.
So once I joined with you, I was in touch with selling Medicare. I was pretty good at it, but I had never really focused on it because it was like a byproduct for me. It was not my main line of business. But when I came here, I saw how well you were training the people over here, the agents, and showing them what is the right way of doing it. And when I was with the other company, unfortunately, they were only contracted to sell 2 insurances for Medicare, which was Humana and Care Plus. We didn't have access to sell all the other companies, the Aetna, the WellCare, the Cigna, the United Healthcare. So all of those companies were unavailable to us. So when I came here, suddenly my world opened up like an oyster, and I was able to, oh my God, I have all these companies I can sell for. So that was like
It's great, right?
eye-opening moment for me, But unfortunately, it was just before COVID started when I joined you. And during that time, during COVID, I did my contracting and everything with all the different companies. And I spent that time, a lot of that time, studying the different companies and the plans. And you can say like perfecting my knowledge of Medicare.
And
Because
selling a
Medicare-
lot of life insurance during that period. I
Of course,
remember
of
you were
course.
selling like crazy.
Yeah. So I even remember after about 6 months into COVID, like around the middle of June or July. No, I think it's around September when the office started opening up, for part-time. Because every time we would open up, somebody would get COVID and again we'd shut down for 2 weeks. So we would come to the office and one day you came and asked me, Suresh, if we've been shut down for COVID, how have you been doing business? I said, well, I had the key to the office. I'm coming to the office every day and calling customers. Then he asked me, do you go to see customers? I said, yes, but only with a mask and hand sanitizer. That was like a fun time. So anyway, bottom line is, I learned more about Medicaid during that time. And when I learned about it, I felt this is something that I can do and I will be more helpful because there's a lot of people who are turning 65, a lot of people who are in Medicare have no clue what they're doing and no clue of what they should be into, what they should be getting, what benefits are they entitled to. So slowly I started practicing my skills. In fact, there was a project that I remember you gave me, said, look, we need to make a presentation to teach new agents how to sell Medicare. And that was unbelievable for me, because when I went there, I sat down, because as a person who's going to be selling, you try to get the basics of what you need to do the selling. But when you have to teach somebody, you have to think of all the different scenarios and all the different things that might come up that may come in front of another agent.
Of course.
And you have to make sure that you have to be very correct and precise in what you're teaching them, because you can say something wrong today, and for them it'll be a whole lifetime of doing wrong things on the road there. So I made sure that I understood more deeply. I went, and because I was going to do the teaching part, I made sure that I became a perfectionist at it.
An expert.
So I became an expert on it. And then, Susan would do the Spanish Medicaid training, and I would do the English Medicaid training, and we started from that. And then little by little, I think just the reputation grows that this guy knows Medicare, and now you want to keep that reputation up.
Let's talk about rules. Many rules that CMS implemented throughout the years and throughout, days goes by and that. I know now in 2023, CMS is enforcing the documents for prior doing applications for the Obamacare. Is that impacting you? How are you handling that situation in regards to the authorization and then the second documents that we need to
Attestation.
The attestation that we need to take signatures from the customers?
Well, I think what you're doing is 100% right.
That's correct.
Because in the past, up to early part of this year, it was very common that you'd enroll a customer, and a month later or 2 months later, you would go on your portal and you will see that customer has been switched to somebody else.
It's gone.
Somebody just stole that customer from you because they had the name or the date of birth or whatever, and they managed to switch the customer out. And it was so frustrating, because every time you'd call the customer would say, but I haven't spoken to anybody. But maybe they just spoke on the phone to somebody, gave them the date of birth, and next thing you know, the guy swipes the customer from you. And there was no system in place to protect us as agents and protect the customer, because now their private information is being literally open to the public. Because the person who's doing this, we do not know what they're going to do with this information. So I'm, to be honest, very happy that they brought out this rule. I think it's very important that we as an agent have to take responsibility. We also have to
100%.
explain to the customers that, look, what is being done is for your protection.
Right.
Because people can take your information and misuse it, and you will be the one paying the penalties in the long run, not them. And they're going to get paid for that.
I agree.
So when the rule first came out about getting the consent forms, I think I was one of the early adopters in the office, where I designed a system of sending a link to my customer. And that link is very simple. I, so-and-so, give my name and date of birth, and give permission to Mr. Suresh Sabnani to become an agent of record, blah, 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 and to access my information. So we took the information from CMS, we formatted that together in a nice document, send it as a link. The customer gets it as a text message or as an email. They can open it on their mobile device or internet, on their laptop or tablet, and they can literally finger sign it and send it back to us. This way, the document is, first of all, sent it in an encrypted form to them. The information comes back encrypted, is password protected, so there's nobody can access that information. That we now have a record saying that the customer has given us consent to access their records, so that makes us the right person to be able to go into the system.
Of course.
If somebody calls me as a referral, that's the first thing I explain to the customer. I have a link I'm going to send to you. Please open the link.
That's great.
And sign this link and send me. This gives me consent and authorization to go into your account and access your information. Because I do not want to touch your account unless you give me the green light in writing. If you tell me verbally, that's good. But sorry, the system requires this.
And let's talk now about the proposed rule for 2025 that CMS is presenting. I know it could be...
That's a scary rule.
Yes, this is a scary rule. They are proposing to eliminate all type of override compensations for agencies and all the entities above agent level. I understand where they're coming from. I understand that they are raising the income of the commission for the Medicare sales to the agents. And they understand also that these will create kind of more work for the insurance companies. What is your thought about that? What is it that you have to say to CMS in regards to that? Because we as an agents are losing a lot of tools and resources if they get to approve that.
I think that this proposal is done with good intention,
Right.
but it's going to have a lot of repercussions that they're not expecting or haven't maybe thought about. One of the biggest repercussions that they're not considering is, number one, right now the agencies, the IMOs and the FMOs and the national NMOs are getting the override compensation through which they're providing us the enrollment tools, the trainings, the access to the back office information and the back office help that we need to get our stuff done. So all that is going to go away. Just that simple fact that information that we are getting, or that training we are getting, or that help we are getting in the back end of our business is going to be taken away from us. Why? Because those companies are not going to be making money anymore, so they'll have to shut down. It's going to create more work on us. By increasing our commission by 5% roughly is not going to compensate us for the amount of cost it's going to bring on our shoulders for the amount of extra work that's being done for us. That's number one. Number two, the resources they are being provided to us through our agencies, like the enrollment tools and the stuff like that.
The software, connector,
all of that is going to,
calls for when we're doing presentations now in front of the people.
All of that is going to go away. Number three, imagine if there's 100,000, and this is the low number I'm thinking in my head, 100,000 agencies are going to shut down. If 100,000 agencies are employing 10 people, you're looking at 1 million people losing jobs. What's going to happen to the economy when 1 million people are going to go on, and ask for support from the government? I lost my job. Who's going to absorb them? So now the government has to lose revenue from 100,000 companies. They're going to have 100,000 people not paying taxes anymore. They have to support the 100,000 people in the payrolls. And what's going to happen to the country? Our economy is already on shaky ground. The stock market is not doing that great. So we are in a limbo situation, and this is going to cause more pressure on the economy also. But I don't think anybody sitting down there is thinking, oh my God, this is what's going to happen. This is the ripple effect of this. You may not see it right away, but in 3 to 6 months, after this rule gets implemented, there's going to be devastation in our
But
industry.
know that we have in our power the right to put a comment, to say our thoughts, to express our thoughts to CMS. So we are encouraging and we are asking and we are calling to the agents for action in going to the page of CMS and writing the comment and expressing your thoughts about why they shouldn't approve this proposed regulation. And that will make an impact. They will be reading and they will be putting attention to our comments. So I'm inviting all the agencies, all the agents, inviting our clients, our customers to go online, to go to the CMS page. We'll be sharing information in our platforms, in our Instagram page. We're going to have the information in how to submit the comments. We already have in our Instagram, in Facebook, in our LinkedIn pages. They are there, the instruction in how to submit the comments. And those comments must be submitted before January 5th. That's the date that we have. That's the deadline to submit the comments. And I'm asking everybody, please, to do it. Did you do it already? If not, we are in the office helping all the agents that sometimes they don't know how to click here and navigate it.
System, yes.
We are helping the agents and everybody, customers, everybody that wants to put a comment. We are asking to please join us in commenting about this situation because it's a really issue for us.
I agree with that. And I think we should all come together and let the authorities know that, look, this is very important to us. It is not only for us, but it is also our companions, our colleagues that work along with us, who are doing all the support services in the back end for us. The system works. Now you're trying to fix something that is already working and you're going to break it up. And how does that operate? And now look at it the other point of view. If you're taking away all these agencies that are doing all the contracting paperwork and backup work and claims processing and all of that for us in the background, now we have to individually sit down and do the contracting with each company individually on our own. That means so much of our time will go doing administrative work when we could be doing actual sales out there. So that's actually going to hurt our income. Yeah, you're going to give me $30 more in commission. What good is that $30 to me if I have to spend 5 hours extra doing paperwork at home? I can't see a customer. So
that's true.
That to me is like, doesn't gel. It doesn't make sense.
So
that's my 2 cents.
Let's do what we have to do. Let's put the comments, express our thoughts to CMS.
Yeah.
And I think that will help.
I think so. We have to do our part, and we can only voice our concerns. And we hope that the people up there are going to listen with empathy in them and understand that they're affecting the lives of a lot of people.
Right.
And economically, this is not good for the country also in the long run.
Right. Well, Suresh, I wanted to thank you for your time. Today we have a nice, long conversation. I hope to inspire people that sometimes they are scared, or maybe like they have questions. Why should I become an agent? Is this a good career? It is. And you are an asset to our team. I really appreciate to have you as part of our team. You inspire a lot of people, and you teach, and you are an example, a real example that when you desire something and you put the effort, you can do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And
thank you for inviting me. I'm happy.
An open invitation for you to come and join us in a second time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it.
Bye-bye.